For joining me and welcome to your reading for November. This is your love energy check-in for November, and I'm Veroosh and welcome to my channel. I'm doing this on a separate channel because we're doing a bit of an experiment. As you guys know, I like my experiments. So we're making an experiment for this as well. I hope you guys don't mind. I wonder if somebody's going to show up, but if you are watching this, then please make sure to like and comment and subscribe. This is the Pick a Card channel, and I've had this channel for a while, although I have not uploaded here yet. So we're going to just test and see how things are going to be working out. In the meantime, I have 3 piles of cards, and I'm doing this check-in like slightly differently. This is 3 different decks of cards, and neither one of these decks has an equal amount of cards. So we have the Victorian Romantic Tarot, this is the Mermaid Tarot, and this is the Tarot Doublin. And so what I want you guys to do is choose one of the 3 piles, and I'm gonna give you guys a little check-in for November. One of the reasons that I'm trying this out now here on this smaller channel is because it's late at night. It's almost 11 on the West Coast, so I didn't want to wake up a bunch of people with notifications. So I might be putting up a lot of videos here in the future, especially pick-a-cards. So please subscribe and comment and like. Okay, great. And if you have just subscribed, make sure to have that notification bell on. So welcome. I think one person's watching live, so it's like me and you, babe, all the way. This is the notification bell that you can turn on, okay? So yeah, thank you so much for being here. Oh, we have 2 people joining the party. I like low-key events. Okay, so we're gonna take a look first at the Romantic Tarot. So if you chose one, this message is for you. Okay. So we're just gonna go really, really slow, and I hope I see 2 likes on this, you know. Okay, so let's see. Number 1. So first we have the 6 of Pentacles. The primary energy for November so far is sharing with other people. So really allowing reciprocity with other people for the things that you have. Maybe it's a part of a lesson that you have learned from the recent past, or possibly this is something that you're really being asked to take a look at again. You might be getting a reward for the good energy you have put out for others, but also I feel as though there will be tests, like people asking you for help and opening up to you, or maybe there will be lessons just around you about giving and taking. Okay, let's see your next card. We have the Ace of Swords. I feel as though very quick communication will be coming up for you in November. This communication will really have you thinking on your feet, which means that you will in some way have to respond very, very quickly to exactly your environment. What do you say? How do you say it? What do you say? How do you say it? What do you want right now? What's in your heart right now? You're being asked to really speak immediately, and it feels almost like your back's up against the wall, like you have to essentially kind of answer immediately, or you will have made a mistake. And I feel like this energy is kind of daunting you, like there's a lot of last minute decisions in November. There's a lot of energy that has to do with really trying to in some way kind of make sense of things. And sometimes you'll have partial information, plus you'll have a situation that in some way is really preoccupying your energy, that has to do with maybe someone else in your family or someone around you who you're giving to. So there's this kind of energy in which you're meant to care for someone else, and yet in your, maybe this is in school or maybe this is at work, there's a lot of like think fast on your feet type of energy. The next card is the Emperor. Wow, some big cards. For some of you this represents your father, but for some of you this represents someone who you have a strong connection with, a strong attraction to, or someone who you see as the perfect like archetype of virtue in a man. This could be also your business, something that you care about quite a lot, and something that you have worked really hard to build, something you have worked really hard to reinforce. It's competing energy, so right now there's not too much in the way of explaining what's going on. It's like there's lots of energies going on here in the way of like you're being asked. This is a very personal card here. It means like something to do with people and situations that you're involved in, private relationships, and this is kind of like you interacting with other people will be really, really fast, really, really fast. And then we have the Emperor, which represents this kind of desire that is with you throughout November, the thing that you want to bring in your life, and the thing that you can almost touch, the thing that is almost so close to being here for you, that whether you are in a relationship or not, there's this kind of really, really physical longing, and almost so much that in certain circumstances that person is already before you, but then in certain circumstances they are they're very, very much, the imagination is very vivid. Okay, the next card is the Two of Wands, and so here we have a decisions to be made. You're thinking of spring already. So fall has come and spring couldn't come fast enough. I feel as though there's a lot of hope that you're looking towards in the future, but also lots of reminiscing with the past, lots of thinking about past relationships, past people that you've known, past circumstances. The next message is the Lovers. Wow. So I feel like so this is early on in the month in which you are being asked to reciprocate with others, and then you'll be put on the spot about something, more than one thing. The general energy of the air is going to be about communicating in lots of directions, really, really fast, on top of your tiptoes, super fast, super resonant, 100% present and able to interact with energy like on multiple planes. And then there will be this kind of real need for grounding and structure, so you'll very much be hoping for that physical presence, while at the same time you'll be really thinking about the past or thinking about the future in some way, and doing a lot of reminiscing, almost catching yourself. And when you catch yourself, you'll feel vulnerable for having spent so much time in Wonderland, for having spent so much time in your dreams, memories, or visions. And so it's almost like this current catches you and kind of pulls you away, and then you have the Lovers card here. The Lovers card is this passionate connection with someone. It's a very altruistic, very positive sense of meaning and love and compassion. The next message is the Wheel of Fortune. And so I feel as though there's really, suddenly it's almost like a energy is sweeping through for you. Like it's almost like this imagination is becoming real, and the energy is sweeping through for you, and a reality is coming around, and that reality is the manifestation of all of this stuff. See, this feels kind of harsh, and somewhere around here, and I don't know which week or day it is, but it's somewhere in here, the desire becomes so realistic and so vivid that before you know it, you're like in Wonderland. You're completely lost in your imaginings, and you forget the things that you have to do. And as you forget, it's almost like falling asleep. As you're falling asleep, you're falling into love, and you're falling into this really kind of compassionate state, very loving state. The Lovers with the Wheel of Fortune card, right? So this, it's just like a honeymoon. It's very much like the moment that everything else kind of fades away. The volume gets turned down on everything else in your life. The next card is the Four of Wands, happy home, happy life. Things become full of ease, and they become full of sympathy, and And it's not that these other things are no longer there, it's that the volume is turned down on everything else. And in this situation, in this relationship, it is definitely a relationship, or you're completely crazy. Like, it's either one or the other. Either you're in a relationship and you're being swept away in love, or you are essentially just completely crazy. I mean, I'm not disparaging kind of any kind of mental state, but it's like you're not with it if this is not your reality, and you think this is a very deep and absorbed state. So you'll be very much absorbed by this energy. By the way, nobody's going crazy. What I'm trying to say is that it's very, very deep, the emotion you're feeling. And so I feel as though the emotion you're feeling is very vivid, and you can't do anything about it. It's all around you, and it's right there. The next message is the Page of Swords. Excuse me, Gemini, Aquarius, or Libra. I feel as though there's someone who is listening. There is someone who is listening to everything that is going on. And I feel as though they have a little bit of autonomy from your life. They're not necessarily so closely involved in your life or so present. And so I feel as though this person is listening to the change in your life. They could have the potential to be vindictive. They do have the potential to be petty, you know. They have the potential to, in some way, they have the potential to be vindictive, but I don't think that's the energy here. They're a pretty jealous person, but I feel as though they're kind of watching and wonder, like, this is what's happening to this person as a positive thing. It's like, you know, when a person's getting married and everybody's watching them walk down the aisle, it's a very different experience, you know, and even the jealous just kind of pay attention and smile. Excuse me for my voice. And so we have the Magician next. So I feel as though there's a lot of people. This is a separate track. This is a separate track of energy that is taking you in a new direction. And then there's two people who are sort of influential around you who are not a part of this relationship. The Magician is like a protector. He's a protector or a guardian spirit who in some way assures that the path is going in the right direction. And then we have the Five of Pentacles. So I think that if anything else, the reality strikes that there will be some kind of responsibility that you may be swept away by feelings or amorous feelings or something like that, but you got to be brought back to reality about the fact that there are things that you're responsible to. So it depends on how much you get absorbed in this feeling, and it's not an illusion, but this sort of inspiration and feeling alive, you know. But the reality is that you have to maintain this awareness of, you know, financial responsibility. But this is also kind of coming down off your cloud into responsibilities and into the things that you in some way are some of the things that, like, this relationship coming down from the clouds into a connection with another person, a loving connection with another person that supports each other even on like cold days and, you know, whatever. So I feel like there's a long future ahead of you. It's a future that requires hard work and dedication, but I feel like I'm a romantic, so I'm like, yes, enjoy this energy, go be crazy and all of that. But I feel like it's also this is also almost telling me that if you draw too much into that energy, it will be costly for you, you know, in the long run. So you should definitely pay attention and not waste your energy, you know, don't waste your energy. But it's not a waste. You're still getting a relationship. It's just, you know, so instead, I'm not sick, by the way. It just started raining, so, and I think I had some dairy, so I don't know. But anyway, so back to the reading. I feel like you are in some way, I feel like you are in some way being guided into a relationship, and it's definitely true that the romance is there. But I think you should also be very careful of what's the aftermath of this love. You know, the love stays with you. This isn't like just a romance and gone. But what is the consequence? You know, you'll still have to pay your bills, and you still have to take care of things. So, you know, love wholeheartedly in November. However, I feel like really keep mind of the first lessons. There's a sense of disenchantment here too. So if you're a very giving person, don't ride out on the fact thinking that people are necessarily going to give back to you for being generous yourself, right? So it will turn out well. Things will be good, but also keep in mind that, you know, just because you're generous doesn't mean that people are always generous back. So make sure to have your own back and take care of your responsibilities, right? That's probably, it's only a nice surprise when people are nice to us, right? It's only a generous, nice surprise when people are nice to us, and that's it. It's like a gift, you know, it shouldn't be expected. Okay, so that's number one. I went kind of overtime for what I wanted to do, but let's do number two now, okay? And I hope everybody likes, because this is a new channel, so make sure to subscribe, and thank you for being here, okay? And make sure to like. Okay, so if you chose two, Mermaid Tarot. So we have the Six of Swords. November opens up with moving on, leaving a situation behind, moving on, moving in a new direction. I think that one person is deciding to let go and try to find a more stable area of life to participate in. Then we have the Hanged Man. Is he in the... No, I'm confused. Oh, he is in the reverse. Isn't that funny? So the Hanged Man in the reverse is either somebody's not learning their lesson, or they're actually freed up from an obligation. But to me, this is like, when a Hanged Man is like this, there's a sense of peace. There's a sense of he's at peace with whatever his circumstances are. It's like waiting in queue, waiting in the lineup, and waiting with patience. It's like you have to wait. And when he's in the reversed, he's not waiting very well. He's upset, he's frustrated, and he's irritated. And he's cutting corners. And someone once said to me, you should never cut corners in life, and it stuck to me. Like, it's literally one of my life mottos, is like, don't cut corners. It's not going to lead to good things. And my life has gotten very much better. I learned that when I was maybe 32, so just a few years ago. And I would say that it's one of those things that when I heard it, it really improved my life. Huge, in a huge, huge way. So the Hangman, so I'm sharing it with you, but this Hangman seems irritable. It seems like somebody in this situation has... someone in this situation has pushed their agenda against listening and receiving. So it's like they've done more talking than listening. And I think that that's created for them a huge amount of frustration and discomfort. And so, and I feel as though it's somebody, almost, it feels like somebody's leaving in an irritated state, like they're irritated or frustrated. And yeah, there's this kind of like, oh, I want to, you know, I want to, how do you say? I want to cut the line faster. The next message is the Ace of Cups. Maybe that frustration is the realized, I feel like somebody's going to make a turnaround. I feel like the frustration makes them come right back around, and this is, we'll see in a sec, but I feel like I feel like they started leaving in peace. I feel like somebody was leaving in peace, made peace with the situation. Okay, it's not right, time to move ahead. But then there was this, and it came in, I don't read reversals, right? But this one came in the reverse, and I'm glad for it, because it's like, this is a person who's not satisfied with their circumstances. They're not going to take on the fact that the universe wants them to wait. In some ways, they're not learning their lesson, but this discomfort is also encouraging them to challenge they got comfortable releasing things. They got comfortable moving on from situations. It's like, it doesn't work. Okay, I'll move on. And then they're unhappy, and they don't know how to save their circumstances. They don't know how to save their situations. And when they feel so uncomfortable, when they feel so sad about what's going on, I feel that they realize the heart starts speaking. When everything doesn't make sense, the heart starts speaking, and they become aware of the relationship, or they become aware of the friendship, right? Here is the next message, and we have the Page of Pentacles, a Virgo, Taurus, or Capricorn, Sun, Moon, or Rising. This could be a challenge to the relationship. Two people, one person from the past, one new person coming in. They could be an earth sign, a Virgo, Taurus, or Capricorn, or somebody who's expressing a very strong physical attraction to whoever. I think that this is people you're interacting with, or you're one of the people involved. Here is the next card, the Page of Wands. Geez, where have you been, girl? Oh my God. The Sag, Leo, or Aries. This is your friend. Sun, Moon, and Rising. And I feel like this person they see beauty in life a lot. They walk through life in beauty. I feel like having friends like this is very imperative right now. It's the magic that drives the school bus, it's the person or the situation who looks up at the clouds and sees only beauty. And when you have people like this in your life, they're magical. People who see wonderful and beautiful things, and therefore extend that beauty into their environment, extend the beauty into their circumstances, right? Here is the next message, the Queen of Swords, a Gemini, Aquarius, or Libra. This woman has a very broken heart. Very sad Queen of Swords in this. It's a redemptive card for me in this deck. I really like her in this deck. Probably one of my favorite cards in the deck. But I feel like there's a presence of someone who has lost a lot, and even through their cold decisions and their cold facade, they too have a tender spot. And I think it's in that tender spot that you find protection, and this woman in some way is here as well with you. So it's almost like you're being protected by energies, people who have lost quite a lot in their life, and people who are very strong people, and even maybe described as cold by others, and this kind of wondrous youth who loves wholeheartedly and only sees inspiration and things. And that's magic, in that being in the zone of that. The last card for this is the King of Swords, a Gemini, Aquarius, or Libra. I don't know, you're just, number twos are like the most social people ever. I feel as though this is someone who's in the upright, and someone who reviews situations from the beginning until the end. So this is a person who takes a look at the whole circumstance and makes a judgment, or passes a judgment with regard to how this situation is going. And I feel like these people will be in some way facilitating, improving in this situation. If there's two competing energies in your relationship life, I feel as though this might be a romance, this Page of Pentacles, but I really feel like there is a relationship coming back into the picture, and I feel like you are being magically protected by these people. These people, this is a child of magic. This is a person, you know how people say love and light, but they don't really mean it. It's all kind of, they're either fabricating it, they're trying to tell themselves it, and or they're really trying to reprogram themselves, which is admirable. So it's not, but then there's those people who truly, they have that energy within them, and so in some way it's all through them, and they proliferate it out. It comes out of them and spreads to everyone as loving, wonderful energy in this wholehearted kind of, you can't convince them to not see beauty. You can't convince them, and they lift everyone up when they are present. They are very good, willing people. This is the magician, and this is the person who you are so lucky to have in your life, right? And then there's this woman who may not be so close to you, but in fact is someone who through her feelings, there's a dignity there. You know, she's not jealous for the well-being of others. In her dignity of her own suffering, she may have been suffering a loss recently, but even in her dignity of suffering, she still in some way is kind of protecting, because she knows where the value is, and she in some way, she knows where the value is, and she in some way stands true to that. And someone said that I'm reading at 11:11 right now, so 11:11. But this could be a mom, or this could be like a friend, or someone who you even know, who, like an older woman who may be in some way have gone through a divorcee, or maybe she's widowed. It could be a man, and she's kind of gone through difficult moments. She's gone through, but because a mother wouldn't begrudge their child usually, but this is a stranger woman, and in no way is she holding against the beauty that you're experiencing. And in fact, she knows to protect it, because she knows the world is not a fair place, where people, you know, are exploitative, and people are cruel, and she's principled. She believes in just action, and she extends it into, so she's just like an oracle. However, she could be multiple people too. And this person is the person, he's the accountant, he's the person who looks at the situation from A to Z and either gives their sign of approval or not. But I do feel like this is a trifecta. You can see that a trifecta means an affecting action, or maybe interrelated action of 3 different points. And so you have this trifecta going on here that's quite powerful, and I think it's actually helping to turn around a situation. See, this person has a instinct to leave, a very strong instinct to leave. And I feel like strong instinct to leave, and I feel like they feel this oftentimes, but they still push ahead and away from situations. And they're feeling it now, because you lose when you have this feeling. It's like you know, you're not strong enough to do what you want in your heart, so you just leave, and then you suffer for it, but it's less intense than confronting the monster. And so in some way, you are now, this person that you're dealing with is going through, they have a commitment phobia, and it's hurting them. And in some way, it's speaking up again, because their heart is like, what are you doing, buddy? Where are you going? Like, you're messing things up again. And I think that each time that's happened, they've learned a lesson in abandonment, in abandoning others, or running away and missing out on opportunities. And I think they're making that connection to their heart. So if you're dealing with them, you really have to allow them to make that journey, or make that process. But I feel as though at the same time, towards you, there's this, the Page of Pentacles, a Virgo, Taurus, or Capricorn, a physical connection that wants to have relations, you know. But I don't feel like there's any history here. I don't feel like it's as deep of a connection, and I feel like this is like the love story, you know. This is just like something on the side. But I don't know, you make your decisions. but I feel as though this is the person, this is the turbine of the romance. This is the propeller of the romance in the situation. This person is like exuding love, expressing love. They live in love, and they heal just not even by talking, just by being, you know? Okay. So, now we're going to do number 3. So the number 3 is the Tarot Doublin, and I didn't pick the same amount of cards, so we'll just see what we get. And yeah, so this is number 3. And if you just came in, somebody just asked me for a reading, then I guess this one's for you. So there you go. So we have the 10 of Cups. So yeah, whatever's been going on in your situation, number 3, I feel as though it's unwavering. I feel as though there's been conflict. However, underpinning of love, togetherness, understanding remains. There's actually absolutely no detachment from the way that people feel about each other. It's like, especially in family relationships, you can't get along with family all the time. At least I can't, you know. And so I feel as though this is a family relationship in which there's been some troubled waters, but it's not necessarily, there's like you start November with this deep calm and a deep sense of awareness that there's love doesn't change, you know, just that 10 of Cups is standing still. Here is the next message, number 2. We have the 7 of Rods, and so I feel as though there's this kind of that's interesting. It feels like this is a warning. How can 7 of Rods and 10 of Cups be a warning? Well, let me show you. I feel like you know you have a sure deal here, or they do, and so they're pushing their luck, or you're pushing your luck, and they're playing with energy. It's like, I know they'll come back anyway, so let me just play out my ego. Let me just let my ego this and that, and you know, test this energy, push it as far as possible. Hey girl, hey. And I feel like the scary part of this is like, what if an accident happens? You know, like, what if something crazy happens that you're not expecting? I don't believe in playing games in relationships, because you never know. And that's just, I think it's just, yeah, careful now, you know. The next message is the 9 of, yeah, it's like you're barricading yourself in your house. You're barricading yourself in your house. You're up in your own ego, or maybe they are. And they're relying on the fact that it's a healthy, happy love relationship, that you are so perfect for each other, that you don't have to, like, that it'll work out anyway. That's the attitude. Oh, it'll work out anyway. I'm gonna play out my ego game here on this platform, and allow, you know, I'm gonna push my agenda into this relationship because it can absorb it, you know, on that level of stuff. And I feel like one person's doing the most to kind of really stretch that elastic band as far as it can go. The next message is the Knight of Swords, a Gemini, Aquarius, or Libra. See, people always come in. There's someone coming in to knock. There's someone who's coming in to knock, and this person is trying to get in. They're trying to be present. Maybe somebody is wanting to be within a family. It could be a Gemini, Aquarius, or Libra, or it could be a Scorpio. But somebody's trying to get in on a situation. They're trying to get in on the love. This reminds me almost like a new family, where I don't know if you guys have kids, but like when a mom has kids for the first time and her attention shifts from the partner to the children, and it's like, it's almost like the husband wants back in because the energy's shifted, and there's this kind of, the door is closed. He's got to knock to get in, you know, and maybe he did even something shady. Maybe he did something foolish, But I feel like here, I feel like he may have done something foolish, but I feel like it's foolish also to play these types of games when you don't mean it. You do this, you lock the door, you close the door when you need it, like when you're still dealing with your feelings or emotions, or when you're not okay with whatever's happened and you're still processing stuff. But when you're just doing it to assert power, then you know you're getting into dangerous territory. Nothing bad may come of it, but you might set a bad precedent. Or maybe they're doing it. Maybe they're coming at things with their ego. Here is the next message, the Seven of Cups. So I think that with them comes really good intentions, though, like having a good time in love, inspiration. This is Venus in Scorpio. Venus will be moving back into Scorpio in December after she goes direct. 2 more weeks, girls. 2 more weeks. Hey, and boys. So I feel like this person has passion on their mind. They have their imaginings. They want back in. They want back into that heart. And oh, it's romantic. Here is the next message. We have the Four of Pentacles. But I think that they still have issues to do with misership. So I don't know if misership is actually a word, but they're a miser. The problem with this person, not like they're in terms, the problem with the behavior that they're doing, that the problem with the behavior is that they hold out on people. And I've had this in friendships or otherwise. It's all over the place. When you let them back in and they essentially still do the same shit over again, it's like they'll come knocking with flowers, and they'll even figure out, if they're smart enough, what to say, you know, to get you to feel squishy inside. But at the end of the day, I don't think they fundamentally changed on sharing and giving. So, and especially the Knight of Swords, like, listen, I was in a relationship with a Knight of Swords for a decade, so I know this. They're very smart. So in some way he or she maybe like, and they're very set on their goals. So like an Aquarius, right? So mine was an Aquarius, but it's true for Libra and Gemini too. When they have their path, look at him go. He's just like, there's my goal, I'm gonna go get it, you know? So he's like 100% trying to get that cup. He's really trying to get in there. And that creates tunnel vision, you know, that creates tunnel vision, an avoidance of the truth, not looking at what was causing the rift in the first place. So if you're dealing with, I do think that they love you, and I do think that they want to be with you. But if this is your partner, then you need to get them to settle down, and you need to get them to do this work on their own. Like, bring their attention back to the misership. Bring their attention to the fact that they've shortchanged you. And before you keep that door, you open the window and you peek out the window and you're like, remember that 4 of discs? Well, you gotta deal with that now, or I'm not letting you in. Or if you let them in, the whole cycle continues. Now, if you find yourself to be the Knight of Swords, then I feel like what you need to do is kind of slow your roll there, buddy, you know, like slow down a little bit, and really check your imaginings and check whether or not you're prepared to give fully, because otherwise you're being a parasite. You know, you don't want to be a parasite in a situation. And here is the next message. We have the King of Swords, a Gemini, Aquarius, or Libra, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Here he's an Aquarius, but he's like an older person in some way. So I feel like there's someone here as well who in some way, this person in some way may be an influential person in the situation from the past, from before, who in some way you can look to for inspiration why this is unacceptable, because it's really hard to say no to this connection. It really wants to be together, but this person is like at this late stage of the Four of Pentacles. And because he's a king, chances of him changing are very, very slow. See, knights still change. Knights can learn their lesson. They can adjust. Anyone can change. But, you know, like, how did you say, like an older guy stuck in his ways, you know, doing his thing. He's going to be very, if you're getting confused in this situation, then look to this relationship that you had where somebody was not changing at all before you open the door. You know? Open a freaking window. You know those little latches that they have? The little latches where you can kind of peek through and talk to the person before you decide if they can come in. Talk to him through that or her through that before you let them in, you know? And then if you find yourself to be this Knight of Swords, then think about the King of Swords and maybe in some way, because it's really hard to figure this out for yourself, right? So look at the Four of Pentacles and think about the King of Swords and be like, how do I not be like this guy? What is it about this guy that makes him so stuck? Because I don't want this. I don't want to be so stuck, you know, in this energy. You know, this is positive reinforcement. You want this, but you have to earn it. You can't just say, oh, you know, I'm here. You take it. If you take it, then you're going to regret it because you're not going to be able to sustain it. And in the process of which you may hurt somebody you love. So you have to be mindful of the energy. I hope you guys like this. It was supposed to be 10 minutes, but here you go. I had a really good reading with a client today. I actually, when I was doing her reading, I found out that I was like doing her reading and it was really deep because she was very open. And I named two things. First of all, like out of nowhere, I'm like, are you ambidextrous? And she's like, yes. And then I was like, it's like you're missing some part in your life. It's like you're missing something. And then like there's someone missing and she's like, yeah, my twin died at birth. It was like so on point. So I like blew my mind and I was like, it's late. It's 11:30 as we're finishing up recording this. I was like, no, but I gotta give them something for November. So anyway, that's pretty dope. Thank you guys, all of you, for being here. I like the low-key readings. Let's see how this goes. And yeah, make sure to like and comment, and I will talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.